And he's not wrong. And I think we can't live in this fantasy land where they're going out and signing every free agent and that's going to make them win a World Series. They're not going to do that. It's a matter of whether or not they are essentially running it back with some slight adjustments. That's what they're going to do. They're running it back. Maybe with Bohm, maybe without Bohm. There's going to be a different right fielder. Justin Crawford's going to be playing next year. The pitching staff they have is the pitching staff that they're going to have, minus Ranger Suarez. They're running it back. Right? Isn't that the easiest way? They're running it back. Bader may be back. He may not be back.
Yeah, it won't be the same 9, but it's not going to look crazy different in terms of a lineup. The top of the lineup probably is going to look the same.
Yep. Dombrowski on Jose Alvarado. Quote, I'd be surprised without making any announcements that Alvarado's not back with us. So in other words, I'm not announcing it right now, but I'd be surprised if he wasn't. So in other words, they've already essentially negotiated, or they're comfortable, and he's comfortable in saying that. So Alvarado's going to be back, minus the juice, I guess, minus the roids.
Yeah, well, for Alvarado, I can't imagine them paying him $9 million. This is one of those you owe me.
Yeah,
deals.
5.
Yeah.
7.
Well, they'll decline the option and then
a little bit less, or maybe a 2-year for 14. Maybe you give him the extra year at less money per year.
I like your 1 for 5.
Well, I do too, but and I like Alvarado. Obviously, it killed him not having him in the playoffs this year, but he's been very good since he's been a Philly. Hopefully that wasn't because of steroids that he wasn't getting caught taking during that time.
Just trying to lose some weight.
The same staff, they're going to add another major league coach, but Kevin Long will be back, the hitting coach. Everybody's going to be back, so they're not making any changes to the personnel. The Dodgers were really good, and he said they're open-minded in making moves. I didn't get any indication that there's going to be much change at all, other than the obvious ones. He said that re-signing Kyle Schwarber is a priority, and Kyle knows that. So Schwarber, unless Schwarber decides he doesn't want to be here, because I can't imagine that he's actually going to get an offer that the Phillies would blink at. Right? He's not getting a $300 million offer. He's not getting a $200 million offer. He might get 5 years.
I think that's got to be the starting point for him asking. I can't see another team saying, yeah, designated hitter in your mid-30s, here's 5 years.
No, but can he get it? The Phillies and Dombrowski probably have a good read on what the market is, and they're not just going to give Schwarber an extra year because Schwarber wants an extra year. You can be like, okay, well then you can go elsewhere for 4 years, or you can stay here for 4 years. And then if a team would say, okay, we'll give you the 5th year, are the Phillies going to let him walk based on 5 years? Is Schwarber going to walk based on not getting that 5th year? I think they'll find common ground. If that's a vesting option or something like that. I'd be surprised if Kyle Schwarber wasn't back. More than surprised. I'd be shocked. How about that?
I'd be surprised, for sure.
Would you be shocked?
Yeah, I'd be shocked. I mean, the way we're talking about the fact to run it back because we assume that money's going to be allocated to Schwarber.
Dombrowski's talking like Schwarber's coming back. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's being very, very low-key about big changes, which makes me think that a big amount of their money is going to be spent on retaining.
Because if Schwarber doesn't come back, you have to totally change everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Now you have to go out in the market and get something.
Correct. And that's the thing. Like, we're talking about what Schwarber is viewed offensively as a DH for $35 million. Bregman just opted out of a $40 million deal. Like, some of these names were thrown around. Pete Alonso, he's going to be up there and around there. And
$25-30 million. Yep.
And he's asking for 7 years.
Yeah, that's all he needs is 7. Well, he also didn't get that. Everybody's going to remember this. Alonso didn't have I think a lot of it sometimes is Boris. He misreads the market, and teams are like, you guys are crazy.
That's your greatest hope for Suarez. To bring Ranger back, that's your greatest hope.
You're right. That Boris comes out and says, we want $200 million, and he alienates so many teams to where they move on from it, and then they're left standing and saying, oh, well, there's not anybody else that has money they want to spend. That happened with Bregman. That happened with Alonso last year. You would think that if you're Alonso, and Bregman for that matter, you're going to go out and you're going to take a market value contract and get your money. If it's Alonso, you know what? If it's 5 years for $125 from a team, maybe you do that. Boris might tell you to wait. I'll get more money. That just didn't happen. So it's probably not a bad time to get him. What else do you say here that it was of importance? I get the idea that Bader is a 50-50 if he's back. Or something around that. The market will determine whether Bader's back or not.
Yeah, he strikes me as one that you could be outbid for, but you'll be aggressive at trying to get him back. Like, you're not, if he comes to you and says, oh, I got this 3-year, $15 million, $16 million offer, there's a chance that they blink and say, nah, yeah, you go take that. We'll go figure something else out.
Was he purposely playing coy and being low key regarding the trades because he doesn't want to come out and give the feel, oh yeah, I got to trade Alec Boehm, I got to make some moves. I don't even get that idea. He may realize that the value for Boehm is what it is, which isn't a ton, and I don't know. Did it feel like he was uncomfortable with bringing Boehm back? I don't think he was specifically asked, was he? I don't remember. Maybe,
yeah, the Castellanos one was the biggest one that stuck out when it came to a specific player.
Do you have that? Here's Castellanos. He was asked about Castellanos, and it's a great answer by Dombrowski. Here it is.
Front row here, Tim.
If there were a few moments this season where Nick seemed upset with his role and maybe with Rob to a degree, I know he's under contract, but can that relationship continue for another season?
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get into specific players that are on our roster under contract, but the things that you talked about are accurate, but we'll see what happens.
He's upset with Rob and his role. Well, I'm not going to get into specific players, but we'll see what happens. And, yeah, you're right about him being upset. And we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if there's any teams that are willing to pay $5 million of his remaining salary. That's what he's going to see. Because Castellanos I'd be shocked if he's back. I'd be shocked if he was back. And that answer was very clear. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to talk about players, but we'll see what happens. And, yes, you're right what you say. He was upset with Rob in his role. And that probably wasn't okay. He got benched. Got benched for how he reacted to being taken out of the game.
The platooning was the beginning of the end. That was the greatest, this is a sign of a breakup of all time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll come back with your reaction. Angry Al has something to say. 610-632-0975. Text line also coming up next. Texts are flying in at 610-632-0975. Are you confident in the run-it-back plan? Rob Thompson is. We'll have that for you next. He said it. If we ran it back, I'm extremely confident. We have that for you coming up next. Our response to Ricky Patalico coming up at 1 o'clock. We'll discuss that more as well as the hour goes on. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Thanks for watching Middays with Marks. Like and subscribe right here. If you like and subscribe, you probably are loving what you're watching. There's more of it right here. Check it out.